A lot of people say that boxing used to be the best sport in the world and the #1 sport in the world, which makes it the best. Well, now it seems that it's a small niche sport, and whatever news comes out, every single content creator actually makes a video about it, because there is not a lot of top level fighters that you're gonna be able to get views and clicks. Right now, there are for sure 3 fighters that people will speak about. Or no, let me rephrase that, 4 fighters, because Jake Paul is in the mix now. At first, it was just Saul Canelo Alvarez. That's the person we're gonna be talking about right now. Also Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis, and now Jake Paul. But we're gonna be making this video about Canelo Alvarez. Now, let's talk about a little bit of the history between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. Now, before the Errol Spence and Terence Bud Crawford fight, Terence Crawford was asked if he was willing to face Canelo, and at that point in time he stated that no, because Canelo is just too big, even though he knows that will be a big payday. But after he defeated Errol Spence, it seems that Terence Crawford actually wanted to fight Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez is not a tall fighter. He is wide, but he is not tall. He is wider than Errol Spence. And it also did kind of seem that when Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence in a one-sided A-whooping, it did seem that Canelo did not want to entertain the idea of facing Terence Bud Crawford, because the way that Terence Crawford destroyed Errol Spence was really unprecedented, especially since they were both the best fighters at 147, which is, man, that was a one-sided beatdown. But the whole boxing world actually watched that fight, and everybody knows there was actually something wrong with Errol Spence. And now, thanks to Everything Boxing, it is stated that Errol Spence indeed actually took an edible before the Terence Crawford fight, which I believe that was a really dumb idea, because it's one thing to smoke and another thing to eat an edible. Because when you eat an edible, it's in your system, kind of like when you are drinking, right? So you cannot go, like, the buzz will not go away. It's the same thing with the edible, but if you smoke, any adrenaline rush will kill that buzz. But this is no knock to Terence Crawford's accomplishment. He destroyed Errol Spence, whether he took the edible or not, whether he had a rib injury or was running up the mountains. It doesn't matter. 10 years from now, the record books are gonna show that Terence Crawford destroyed Errol Spence in a one-sided A-whooping. It's gonna say that he got TKO'd, but what it's not gonna say is that Errol Spence actually ate an edible and he did some dumb decisions leading up to the fight. It's just gonna say that Terence Crawford beat the living ish out of Errol Spence. It also did seem that Canelo Alvarez did not want any part of Terence Crawford, since Canelo Alvarez seen how easily Terence Crawford destroyed Errol Spence. Kind of like when Teofimo Lopez fights to the level of his competition. That's what I believe happened before we found out everything that happened. But yes, Canelo Alvarez is 3 levels above Terence Bud Crawford. It was only after Terence Crawford went up to 154 to fight Madrimov, and he did not look like Superman. He did not look like the way he did against Errol Spence. He looked vulnerable and he was getting hit a lot, and it was a really close competitive fight. But guess what? Canelo fights at 168 and Terence Crawford now fights at 154, and that was his first fight being acclimated at 154. No, he barely even got acclimated at 154, so he probably still needs another fight to actually get into the groove at 154. But guess what? 154 is now 160 and 168. So even if he already got accustomed and acclimated at 154, that does not mean because he got acclimated at 154, he's gonna be already acclimated at 160 and 168. Do you guys think Terence Crawford is gonna move very well at 154, or he's gonna move exactly like he did at 154 at 160 and 168? Nah, I really don't think his power is gonna translate, and it did not even translate against Madrimov. So how is he gonna stop stop Canelo Alvarez. So now Canelo Alvarez, I believe because of this fight, he comes in a comment and states that he is willing to fight Terence Crawford. He did not want to fight Terence Crawford at first because he moves too much and the fight will be boring. But now that he's seen that he did not move so well against Madrid Mob, he is willing to fight Terence Crawford if the money is right. And I'm pretty sure that he is gonna kill Terence Crawford. I cannot wait for this fight to happen just so I could show you guys up. I believe Terence Crawford is a really great fighter. Don't get me wrong. Below 154, at 160 and 168, that's when you're gonna know that weight classes exist for a reason. Hey guys, but guess what? I ain't the biggest, I'm the baddest. And if you wanna help out your boy, throw $1 at the super thanks. I gotta roll. Peace.